I'd love to introduce you to Dr. Byron Tredusky to share his leading research about one of the unidentified drawbacks of the ever-evolving world of AI. Let's welcome Byron to the stage.
Hi, good afternoon. How are we doing? Oh, wonderful. Are we enjoying the Think Summit so far? All right, good. Fantastic, fantastic. Okay, I like to start off what I think is a good one, sort of an icebreaker. Why did the marketer break up with her boyfriend? Girlfriend or partner? Lack of engagement. Okay, it seems like some of you have already heard that one. Or you may have broken off an engagement recently. If so, I am sorry. I didn't mean to pour salt on the wound. All right, okay. Where was I? Oh, yes, at the very beginning, because I haven't started yet. Good afternoon. Okay, it seems like my name is Dr. Byron Tredusky, and I'm honored to be talking to you today about an epidemic that can only be blamed on the continuing advancement of artificial intelligence, okay? Now, what is that epidemic? We've become too productive in the workplace. Yep, yeah, oh, that's me. Up, someone click it for me. There we go. We become too productive in the workplace. Okay, that's right. We're getting too much done too quickly, and it's causing a chain reaction of unintended consequences. And we gotta pump the brakes. Okay. Now I'm sure some of you saying right now, too productive. What a dream, Byron. Well, I'm here to tell you that dream is quickly turning into an existential nightmare, okay? That's because in our hunt to allow AI to simplify, streamline, and expedite, we overlook the one small thing that employees love, and that is a reason to procrastinate, or avoid work altogether. Now, when AI removes the menial tasks that nobody wants to do, it removes that motivation to procrastinate. Now, why does this matter? Okay, our data shows that 84% of email marketers' time is spent creating campaign calendars, right? Troubleshooting HTML code, right? Fixing broken links. And in other words, things that no one wants to do, but marketers are only able to do most of the time. So come on, back in the Mad Men days, we used to be marketers that were responsible for the creative side of the business. But those days have been long gone. And since then, marketers have become experts at productivity and hence procrastination too. Which brings me to the revolutionary new program my team is preparing to unveil in early 2026. It acts to counterbalance this issue, okay? It's called Intelligence Deceleration Invitation Over Time, which now I'm realizing spells idiot as the acronym. Oh gosh, wow, I can't believe none of the people in my team flagged that. Okay, you know what? Real quick, let me just take a quick second to make a note here so we can workshop that.
Excuse me?
Oh, well, look, yeah, I was actually hoping to hold all questions until after I deliver my 95-slide PowerPoint presentation. But sure, let's just disrupt the flow of it early, I guess.
95 slides, wow. No, maybe I'm missing something, but isn't removing menial tasks just freeing marketers up to do more, to actually create?
Huh. Okay, that's one take, for sure. But let's not jump to conclusions, all right? I mean, you see, the problem with doing more sounds productive, okay? And as we've already established, productivity is the enemy.
Sounds confusing. I'll just sit down.
Okay, well, look, let me put it this way. Okay, imagine a hamster on a wheel, happy, focused, rhythmic. Now let's give the hamster not on a wheel, but on a hoverboard. Okay, now the hamster is going willy-nilly, it's out of control, it's Googling how to build a personal brand, all caffeinated and stuff. Look, what matters is that our research has been showing.
Research. You said that before you researched, but like, what kind of research are we talking about? Because, you know, if I'm being frank, like, none of this tracks. Right, buddy?
Okay. Well, it's not traditional peer-reviewed research per se.
Well, what is it?
Okay, it's like field-adjacent insight collection.
All right.
Through vibes.
Vibes?
And observational synthesis.
So no research.
Okay. Okay, not in an academic sense. Okay, you know what? Cards on the table. All right, you seem like a very smart crowd, and I'm going to be honest here. I don't have a PhD in anything, okay? I'm not even sure if I spelled epidemic right in all 95 of my slides. I'm actually an actor from the Second City Comedy Theater. Okay?
That explains a lot. Also why this microphone's not connected to anything.
Well, thank you, Ben, and thank you everyone else. It's been a long journey pretending to know what HTML stands for.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Jordan Savusa, his real name. And joining us from the audience, Ben Remeka. Hello, everybody. We've got our lovely friend Jonathan Wagner over here on the keys and on the drops, on the music drops. We are the Second City. Thank you so much. We do not have 95 slides. Who is relieved? You're like, we can do it. We've been here for 19 hours. We are in it to win it. No, we are going to be here in these next couple moments with you to share a little bit of our world, right? What we know about all of you is that we are on the cusp, and what we've been hearing every speaker say is like, oh wow, we are entering into uncharted territories. We are looking at where we are going as our own individual brands, as how we treat the information, how we treat the consumer, right? So we are here to share a little bit from our world, which is the world of improvisational comedy. By show of hands, who here has heard of the Second City before we just blast it? That's really great. Okay, awesome. That sets some context. For those of you who didn't raise your hand, or perhaps raised your hand out of peer pressure, which is a very real thing, give you a little context. Second City was founded in the beautiful city of Chicago, Illinois in 1959. Give it up for Chicago. A tepid woo from the Chicagoans. Not the Chicagoans I know, great. And about 30 plus years ago, as we boast the largest school of comedy in the world, we train everything from improvisation, sketch, screenwriting, clowning, directing, you name it, any facet of comedy. About 30 years ago, we started to see that the students that were coming into our training centers had no desire to become the next Tina Fey or Keegan-Michael Key or Tim Robinson. They were coming to be better at their jobs. They were coming to be better communicators themselves, better leaders, in every single silo of industry you can imagine. So the division we represent at Second City, which is Second City Works, is who we are here with today. And it is part of our brand that takes professional improvisers into the workplace. We have come up with a series of exercises and activities that are sanitized for regular consumption. So we're going to take you through some of these. Everybody breathe. No one's going to be crawling around on the floor like a cat. There's always one person in the group is like, damn, right? If that was you, see us afterwards over there. We'll tell you where to take a class. But we've taken the things that we're teaching our students in our training centers and bringing them out into the public so that people can try on the mindset of what it is to create our brand, right? It is, I hope, the final frontier that AI will not be able to usurp. We'll find out. But it's this idea of it will always be the human brain that is creating and connecting to this, the muse of creativity first. What happens to it after that, we will see. But it starts with us. It starts with our intention to kind of connect ourselves to the ability to create. And so we wanted to share some of that with you all here today. Does that sound good? Does that sound good to you all? Okay, great. That's fantastic, because we were going to do it anyway. So I love a little buy-in. I want to say hello to all of our friends who are joining us virtually. We know that you are out there. We're going to do a few activities in these next couple minutes. If you have somebody in a co-working space that you can nab and be like, come do some stuff with me right now, go ahead and do that. If you're flying solo at home and you have a pet, deputize that pet to join you. Or you can simply, jot down what we're doing and, try it at another time once you're with a fellow human being. But what we are going to ask you all to do is sort of partner with somebody who is close by to you. And we're going to try a few experimentations to see what happens up here. Because most of us spend most of our waking hour trying to replicate what we did yesterday to get the same outcome, because that felt good, right? That felt good to my brain. So let me have the same conversation with the same 6 people till I die, right? That is great until something upends that, right? And I can't think of a time in modern history where every day we wake up and we're like, oh, this is happening now? Great. The improviser's mindset is exactly where we want to be. This idea of being nimble in the moment and reacting to what is truly happening, not what we wish was happening. We have a saying that we rely on heavily that is, play the scene you are in, not the scene you wish you were in. Right? A lot of us spend most of our day going, man, I wish this meeting was going differently, right? Well, it's not. It's happening here in real time. So how can you practice being in the mind space where that all of a sudden feels okay? It doesn't have us bracing against, it has us embracing the unknown. So let's try this on, shall we? Turn to somebody close to you, proximate-wise, not close interracially or like, this is my life partner, somebody proximate to you, and say, you're gonna be my partner for this next thing, right? Find a partner. Fantastic.
You too, Ben. You're gonna be on partner.
Great. If anybody needs a partner, I want you just to raise your hand and look for another raised hand. You might have to get up and move to another spot. Is anybody flying solo? They're like, I'm not raising my hand in front of the improv people. They'll call on me. Fantastic. All right. You guys, that wasn't the exercise. There's more. There's more. Here's what you're going to do with your partner. Here's what you're going to do with your partner. You're going to have a conversation with your partner. It can be about anything under the sun. Don't start planning ahead because it's going to take twists and turns really quickly. You're going to have a conversation with your partner, and the only caveat to this conversation is that the last word of your partner's thought or sentence has to become the first word of your response, and then your last word becomes their first word, back and forth. Ben and Jordan are going to demonstrate in case your brain just fell out of your ear because you're like, I don't know what this lady's talking about. Ben, kick us off.
I checked my horoscope this morning. Things are looking up.
Up? Yeah, up is my attitude towards life altogether.
All together now, we should sing our favorite song that brings us the most happiness.
Happiness, my favorite song.
Song, that's what we were just singing. Happiness, your favorite song, yes.
Yes. Let us sing then.
Okay. All right. It doesn't have to be this AP level of improv. These guys have been improvising for a combined 800 years. For you, it's just going back and forth, making sure you're taking your partner's last word. If any of you were too afraid to raise your hand and say, I don't have a partner, you can do it now and find another raised hand. All right, we're going to give you about 60 seconds. It's going to feel like 4 years, okay? But turn to your partner, and one of you begin. Go.
Dad.
partner a round of applause. Okay, great. Fantastic. All right. I would love to hear some adjectives shouted out from the crowd. What was that conversation like? Random, a sea of awkwards. I just heard 6 different people go, awkward. I heard surprising, funny, random, awkward. Yeah, yes to all of those things, right? I want you now to think in your head, and I'm gonna see what happens when 800 people share something at once. This will be fun. I want you to think in your head, what was the one skill that you brought to bear in that minute plus, more than anything else that helped you survive that unknown terrain? What was the one thing you leaned into harder than anything else? On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Did you hear that? Oh. Listening. Yes. All answers were correct. So if you're the outlier that was like, agility, that was correct. That was correct. All answers are correct in improv. That's the best part about what we do. But let's lean into the listening, okay? Here's why we're bringing this to you. Improvisers have to listen in an extremely particular way. And it is in the active listening way, right? It's a very buzzworthy, active listening is important. What is it? That's what you were just doing, right? And I want you to be honest. We don't have to self-assess by raising hands. But how many of you figured out the hack of, I don't have to listen to every word. I can just go, wah, pineapple. Pineapple is a fruit with a crazy outside, right? That is because our poor brains are so taxed that we are trying to find a hack in 90 seconds to be like, this is hard. How can I make this easier on myself, right? Or the other option is that I'm sure a lot of you were like, this could be the last word. And so I am hanging on to every word. Why are you still talking? That was a good word. I had a word, right? So that, to me, I want to highlight how quickly our brains work, right? Our brains are working. I bet all of you can think back to 2 minutes ago and you're like, yeah, I was solving for every time I thought that was going to be the last word, right? So do we listen like this in our average conversations with loved ones and colleagues? Thank you for your honesty. If you're the one dude who's like, yeah, I'm like, see me after, sir. No, you're not. Okay, no, we are not listening like this, right? What are we doing if we're not listening like this to every word? What are we doing? Thinking of what we're gonna say, or just tuning out. Yes, sometimes we're like, Trader Joe's is open till 9. I think I could, right? The other is, I am thinking about what I'm gonna say as soon as this other mouth stops moving, right? We are in this moment of, we have become a society that is waiting to respond, right? And this is how we at the Second City define our listening. It is listening to understand versus waiting to respond. Those are 2 wildly different things. And as we march into, I like 8 seconds, what's new, right? I have become trained to say, I am rewarded for speaking right away. And I am rewarded a lot for interrupting. I know what you're let me just jump in. What I think you're gonna say is, right? But the human condition we know is that more than anything else in the world, I just wanna be heard. So how many times have you interrupted in order to save time, and then the person just starts over, and you're like, oh my God, right? And then this keeps happening because the human need isn't being met. Here's where it shows up for us. The 3 of us get up here, we come to you for a suggestion, you say something, we are building in real time. We are innovating in front of you. Our product is created in front of our consumer. If I check out because I start to get nervous, because comedians are constantly, our feedback from our consumer is how long has it been since we've gotten a laugh? So I turn to self-focus, I get panicked, and I stop listening to these 2, and I start planning a really funny thing to say. And what I've done is, a lot of times, and you watch young improvisers do this, it's painful, because they stop, and like, I'm getting ready to say something. I think I'm like Ben's wife, right? And I'm like, this is gonna be great, and then I'm gonna say this thing about we're gonna take a vacation. And then he ends the line with, Grandma, right? And all of a sudden now I'm responding to something that doesn't apply. It's broken. It's broken right there in real time. And our audience is not in fight or flight like we are a lot of times on stage. So they're watching us going, this doesn't make sense anymore, right? Because we've broken our contract. I need to listen to these guys like I have no idea what they're going to say because I have no idea what they're going to say. And a lot of us don't live in a world like that. We can kind of guess, like, oh, this customer is kind of like that customer, and this coworker is kind of like that coworker, and this meeting kind of feels like last Tuesday's meeting, and I bet it's going to go like this, right? So for the visual learners in the room, let's say that I'm gonna talk to you about something. I'm gonna pull you aside and be like, hey, can I bend your ear for a minute? I'm gonna start talking up here at my shoulder. I'm gonna finish down at my fingertips. I'm gonna move my hand down my arm like this. I want you all to yell out stop where you think we, the general we, stop listening and start planning our response, okay? So just yell out stop. Anyone? Okay, this is good. Yeah. Liars. Anything below the elbow, I'm like, really? Okay. This is what's really interesting to us is this admission, right? This got a laugh when everybody was like, stop. Since we've been doing this work post-pandemic, this is where most rooms yell stop. In 2018, most rooms yelled stop here. Wherever we were in the world, I don't care what silo of industry we were touching, people would kind of get to the elbow and they'd be like, stop. Now it's just marching like further up my face and my head, right? So two things we want to highlight. One, this is your invitation to land the damn plane up here. Because we're proving we can't hang in, right? So tell me what's important up here. I have to become others focused as an improviser. What do these guys need in order to create, not do what makes me feel comfortable, right? The other thing is if we're focused on how we've become horrible listeners, it's now our invitation to hang in, to start exercising this muscle, right? So I'm thinking about all of you and this idea of where do we meet the consumer? Where do we, like, how are we listening? How are we listening to our colleagues as we innovate? How are we listening as our product team is coming to us? How are we listening to the incredible dais of folks that you've had access to today and tomorrow? How are we taking this in order to get to the part where we are now outputting, right? Our poor brains just want to skip to the next part and be like, I know, how about I'm going to say this now, right? Instead of truly taking it all in, which as we know can have a profound effect on what comes out of our mouth yet. When I hear you completely, it changes what comes out and how I address the situation at hand. So let's build on this a bit. So now we're thinking like we're listening like an improviser. I want to tap into one of our core tenets about how we create in real time and let you steal from us, okay? This is our goal. Do you still have your partner from a minute ago, or did they run out terrified? Okay, if you need to readjust and find somebody new, take a second to do that. Otherwise, turn to that partner and be like, we're about to do another thing. Yes.
We're about to do another thing.
Yes. Perfect. Okay, great. This next exercise is gonna let us try on one of our core tenets of improvisation and how we create in real time something out of nothing over and over and over again. And in doing that, we lower the stakes for ourselves, right? Sometimes I think about when we're in a space of creation, we're like, this has got to be perfect the first time, and if it's not, then it's all done, right? But now we're going to lower the stakes a little bit by trying this on. With your partner, you two have just become the world premier party planners of our generation, right? Oh my God, everyone comes to you guys to plan a party. You are going to plan a party right now. So with your partner, you are going to decide, let's have one of you raise your hand. Look over and make sure your partner's not raising theirs. I need one in every partner to raise your hand. If you're raising your hand, the other person's going to go first. Two things I want to highlight. We reward risk takers. Secondly, you don't know what the hell you're going to do, so calm down. Everyone's like, ha ha ha, suck it. You don't even know what's coming. You don't even know what's coming, okay? Here's what's coming. If you're going first, it just means you're gonna pitch an idea for this amazing party. I'm gonna give you this, an unlimited budget. Oh God, I got you all back. You're like, no matter how much money you can imagine, you can spend it. And you're not even allowed to go like, well, we can't fly in space and breathe. You can. For this party, the laws of science don't apply either. So all the money you can imagine, no science to keep you down, okay? You're gonna pitch one idea, keep it at about sentence at length. There's no filibustering allowed in this round, okay? So I might say, I'm gonna go to Paris and we're gonna party on a boat on the Seine, okay? That is my pitch. If you are not pitching, partner, you are going to start every response with the words no because. No because. And then it's gonna go back to your partner and they're gonna pitch again. They're gonna take that information, however you respond is correct, no because. These two are gonna demonstrate. Ben, do you wanna pitch to Jordan?
I would love to. I'd love to. I was thinking what we could do is we could take a road trip up to Montreal in Quebec.
No, because Quebec is just so far away, and I got so much stuff to do here.
It is super far away. So you know what? How about this? We'll just stay local. We'll rent out a bar or a pub, and we'll invite all of our closest friends.
No, because that means I'd have to put on pants and go outside. And I don't want to do that. I just kind of want to stay home.
You are a big fan of no pants, and you're agoraphobic. How about this? How about we do a virtual party where you can be in the dark pantsless, and I'll just Zoom, and it'll be you and me.
No, because I still have a 1993 compact Presario.
Great, great. Again, gold standard, you do you, okay? But one of you is pitching, the other person is saying no because. I'm giving you 60 seconds, so see how many ideas you can get out. And go for it. Without your knowledge or consent, we have entered you into a 3-round experiment. Surprise, okay? That was round 1. I want you to remember it, and we're gonna talk about it in a minute. Round 2 is up. If you were pitching, you are now giving the feedback, and your friend is pitching. They're gonna pitch their idea for the best party that's ever been created in space and time. And if you are the feedback giver, your language has changed. You're starting with yes, but. So it might sound a little something like this.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited, Ben. I want to do like a bowling party, that we just go to a bowling alley and just party all night.
Yeah, that sounds great, but you know I have these big sausage fingers that don't fit in any bowling balls.
Yeah, I know. So, you know what, maybe you can just stand in the back and eat some pizza while I just bowl with the rest of my friends.
Yeah, that sounds terrific, but you know I have that terrible gluten and dairy allergy, and I'm allergic to standing in the back of anywhere.
Well, you know what, you can sit next to me while I look at the bowling alley.
Yeah, I'd love to sit next to you, but the truth is I've already been asked to sit next to 3 other people that I like more.
All right. Okay, you get the idea. The other person is pitching, yes, but. Begin. remember that? We're moving into round 3. So congratulations, person who went first. You get to pitch one more time. So it's back to you to pitch. Your partner is now going to respond starting with yes, and, fill in the blank, okay? We're not going to demo this because we're going to see what happens with you all. So pitch, yes, and, all right? And let me add this on. Let me add an AP level to you all because you guys are bright, you're tracking. When it comes back to you, pitcher, I want you to start with yes, and as well. So after that first line, you're both starting with yes, and. On your mark, get set. Plan your brilliant parties.
Oh, that boba looks really good.
And give your partner a round of applause. Give your partner a round of applause. Fantastic. All right. Thank you for running through that. Here's what we want to leave you with, right? This idea of yes and is sort of the E equals MC squared of our art form. And over the last 15 years, it's sort of seeped out into the zeitgeist. You know, so many, show of hands, who's heard of this phrase before today? There's books, there's everybody's manager has done a class, and they're like, we're gonna do this now, right? Now we're playing cleanup. Now we have to go around the world cleaning this up. Here's how it's been misconstrued. People have taken it to be that the yes is, I agree, or I give you permission. Okay? The yes for us is, I hear you, or I hear myself. When I think about creating, right? When I'm not doing this, I write for film and television. When I'm in a writer's room, it's really great to yes and with my buds and be like, right? It's the hardest when I'm by myself at a computer. I'm like, yes and yourself, right? Because the editor creeps in first. And here's what we know. It's impossible to create and edit at the same time. Somehow we've been sold a bunk bill of goods that we can do it as we go. It's not true. It's simply not true. So this yes and philosophy gives improvisers the chance to expand and then start to see what we work with, right? In a brainstorm setting, right? Set the timer with your colleagues. Say we're gonna yes and for 10 minutes. There are some people that will freak out. They're just like, it's getting too big. We can't afford it, right? You're just like, it's 10 minutes. We're not allowed to pump the brakes. Because that's what you felt in that first round is, right? And even with these guys, right, in a joking manner, and I bet you can identify, did the ideas get smaller? Right? And maybe some of you were like, sky's the limit, Kate said any money, and you pitch something and then you end up with like, I don't know, a bag of chips on the couch, like, or oftentimes we hear in that first round, like, well, you're not invited anymore, right? Like, they just cancel it out. That's not the space we want to be in for creation or ideation, right? That's a fight or flight mode, right? I am like saying, no, I'm pumping the brakes. I think I'm being constructive. Most people are offering up the no because and the yes but from a completely benevolent point of view. We have been taught from this little, right? If you're a sharpshooter, if you can figure out where the problems are, you get rewarded, you get moved up. That's great until you're trying to innovate and create, right? And you want to leave the space of what is possible. Let's game this out for a little while. When we're on stage, again, it's not, I could play a character that can't stand these two people, right? I'm not agreeing with what their characters are telling me, but I am agreeing that we feel in the moment that we are adversaries, right? Expert improvisers can argue and make you cry laughing on stage. They're not saying, I agree with everything you're bringing to me. I'm saying I'm agreeing to our reality. So the yes for us is kind of hanging in to here, either with yourself, in like, what if, right? In this idea of, what if I pitched this idea? What if we went to our consumer with this? What if, right? I'm allowing myself to yes and, before I'm finding the problems. So this philosophy, again, not a phrase. I'm taking the phrase back. I'm putting it in our pockets. We're leaving with it, right? Because it's been a bit co-opted to see, like, and we've listened to people that say, oh, my manager took a class and she came back and she was just going, yes and no, right? It's like, that's not it. That's not it, right? There is a real place for no. There is a real, like, laws, safety, budgets, right? All of that is very real. We're not saying you can say yes to everything, but you absolutely can say yes to every person on your team that's bringing forward ideas. And you can create the space for it, for yourself and for each other. Which brings me to the sort of the final message we want to leave you with. We refer to our teams as ensembles at the Second City. We have an ensemble mindset, and it is just this. This is not a solo sport. Solo comedy is stand-up. It's wildly different than what we do. This is much more like a group sport where I'm offering my role on the team. It is being complemented in real time by whoever I'm sharing the stage with. And I don't feel the onus of having to do it all by myself, right? It's a beautiful place to be, to say, I'm gonna offer up one part, and then Ben's gonna meet that, and then Jordan's gonna meet it, and then I'm gonna offer up another part, and then they're gonna build and build. We have a saying, and it is this: bring a brick, not a cathedral. Bring a brick, not a cathedral. When you drag the whole cathedral in and plop it on the table, the only thing you have left for your partners to do is to tell you what's wrong with it. It's to start picking it apart and go, I wouldn't put the flying buttresses there, or maybe there should be extra doors over here. Who wants to be in that space, right? But instead, thinking about this is like, my ensemble-based mentality is I only have to offer up what's going to be useful in this moment for these guys to build with me, right? It takes so much pressure off. It changes it from like, I owe you all everything, right? Which is not the space you want your brain to be in order to create. So before we go out on stage, before we do even an engagement like this, we turn to each other, we tap each other on the shoulder, I say, I got your back, right? I got your back, I got your back. We said it to our whole team, our music director over here. It's not because I think that you're going to fail when we get out there, so I got your back, I'm gonna drag you over the finish line. I'm saying I'm here with you, and I'm allowing you to take bigger risks than you might take if you were out there by yourself. Whatever you do, I'm gonna justify the hell out of it. I'm gonna make it look like a beautiful thing, right? So living in that space is such a wonderful place to like treat your own brain, treat your colleagues' brains, right? Treat your customers, right? Like, what do they need to co-create with us in real time? So we wanna leave you with all of that. Hopefully there's been one little juicy nugget to steal from us, because that's why we're here, so you can just take right from us and go back out into the real world. So on behalf of the fake Dr. Byron Trudusky and the real Ben Rameka, we've been the Second City. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your time here in New York.